And the Israeli military has carried out more strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. A member of the armed group was killed in the border town of Kfarchouba. We have correspondents in Israel and Lebanon to talk about these developments. Laura Khan is standing by in Sasa in northern Israel. But first, let's go to Zeina Khodr. She's live for us in the Lebanese capital. Zeina, what more are you hearing about this latest Israeli attack in southern Lebanon?
Well, another targeted strike. Another member of the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah killed. He was in a house in the village of Kfarchouba, which is very close to the border. This was an overnight strike. He would be the sixth member of the group to have been killed in the past 48 hours, among them a senior field commander. Now, this is not the first time we've seen similar attacks in the past 3.5 months since this conflict along the border began. We've seen Israeli drone strikes target cars carrying Hezbollah members. We've seen Israeli strikes on homes belonging to Hezbollah members. But as of late, in the past few days, we're seeing the frequency. There's more of these attacks, and they seem to be more targeted. And the very fact that Israel actually named the person it targeted in the attack at the funeral of that senior commander on Wednesday means they are hunting down members of the group. This is an intelligence war. Israel definitely relying on the drones. Its drones are in the skies 24/7, and they're also relying on intelligence on the ground. And what we understand from people close to Hezbollah is that there's concern about this, that there are people on the ground giving or passing this information to the Israelis. No doubt this is an escalation. Many people you talk to in Lebanon believe we are going to see more targeted assassinations. We saw a high-profile killing just last week. Hamas's number 2, Saleh al-Aruri, in the southern suburbs of Beirut. Now, while all this seems to be an escalation, the bottom line is both sides are still going after military targets. Israel targeting Hezbollah's infrastructure, Hezbollah's fighters, and when Hezbollah retaliates, it's still focusing its attacks on military bases. But no doubt the situation is worrying. It is escalating. But so far, to a large extent, it's still contained, if you like.
Zeina, thank you very much for that. Zeina Khodr with the latest live in Beirut. Let's head now to Laura Khan. She's joining us from Sasa in northern Israel. And Laura, Israel's health ministry has ordered hospitals in the country's north to prepare for the possibility of receiving huge numbers of injured people. Why?
Well, when they're preparing for the possibility of receiving, they say many soldiers injured, they're saying in the thousands, this means they're also preparing for a war. They've so far been doing this kind of tit-for-tat, border exchange of fire. Now they're talking about thousands of possible casualties. So the Khan, Israel's broadcasting agent, essentially said the Ministry of Health has put a directive into the hospitals to evacuate some of the non-essential care patients to prepare for more to come in. This is a directive so far. We don't know how long this is going to happen into the future. But they've also, the Ministry of Education has said that children who've been evacuated from some of these border communities may not be able to return until the summer. So they're expecting for it to go on for at least until the summer. Now, I'm just going to show you exactly where I am and why this is important. It's a village called Sasa. And if I just step behind, you can see this village. It had a few hundred people in there. It's now been evacuated completely. There are soldiers living in the house, and it's a closed military zone. It's been one of the hottest areas since the war. And if the cameraman could just show you on that ridge, that's where Lebanon is, about 2 kilometers away. We're also very close to a place called Mount Meron. So if we can just slowly swing the camera around, this was an air-controlled base that was hit by a barrage of rocket fire on Saturday. There were at least, Israel says, at least 14 rockets. It took them a good day to even admit that it was fired upon. It's just behind me up here, and it's the highest point in the mountains, and it's because it's a deeply sensitive area. Now, Israel did say that it does have backup and that the damage caused there can be repaired, but it was also hit yesterday in a place not far from where we were in Safed. And again, Israel's Northern Command unit, they said there wasn't much damage, there were no injuries. But it really goes to show that the language of war is being ramped up, and we're looking at more than tit for tat at the moment between both sides. But it seems so far that, as Zeina Khodr said, it is only military areas that are being targeted by Hezbollah at the moment.
Laura, thank you very much for that. That's Laura Khan with the situation in northern Israel. She's live in Sasa.